Welcome to Bluegrass Banjo 101. Would you put your hands together for Mr. Bill Keith?
Thank you very much. Thanks. It's nice to be back, and great to see this weather like it is, and last for the duration, I surely hope. Well, nice to see so many banjos too. There's lots of folks with and without them. I hope I can give you all something to take home and work on, or have some fun with, or that's the whole goal of it all, actually. And a lot of it, the way I approach it kind of gets technical, and that's the harder stuff to remember, and I don't have any handouts, and there's no blackboard to write on and anything. So it's a little hard to get around to some things, you know. So where do we start? Any questions so far? Let me run out and buy you a thing that is sort of it's built into not just the instruments but the music itself. And the understanding, having an overview of this kind of way things are organized has been one of the things that's helped me most, and it helped me enjoy listening to music as well, because I can hear more stuff in it. You can, well, I like to say, you can almost get it all from intuition if you get at it right. So that's a Christmas carol, but it's also the E major scale. See that? You know that kind of in your head, you know, everybody. Since when we were 1 year old, and we have this musical pieces planted in there. Just the notes rambling up and down, and you take those notes and shuffle them around and rearrange them, and all of a sudden it's different tunes. So you can take it either way. You can start with one tune and learn it, or another one. So it's all moving up and down in the scale, right? So this is just this row of notes, and anything we play in this key is just those notes shuffled around. So you can learn it tune by tune, tune after tune, or you can say, well, I'll start at the other end and say, well, where's that scale? And once I get my fingers going there, then I just change the rolls and shuffle the notes around and see what comes out. And so I think that's a good place to start, is with the scale itself. And it has a lot to give. And so I'm going to take that, and I'll just go up to the first fifth note and back down. And if I do that in heavy rhythm, what comes out is was that chord, because that chord is 1, 3, 5. Everybody knew that, of course. All right, let me just sort of change feet. If I was dancing on one foot, then I'll dance on the other foot and put that note on the heavy beat and go up to 5 notes from there. So now we're hearing another chord. It's not a, it's an A minor chord there. And I didn't make it minor. It's re, fa, la, if you're into that do, re, mi, fa, sol business. A minor. Okay, do it again. B minor. There's the 4th chord, the 4 chord, yeah, and it's C, just plain old C, C major. There's the 5 chord, it's D major also. So we've found the 1, 4, and the 5, but we knew that all along. And then we had the 2, and the 3, and the 4, and the 5. Here comes 6. See, it's falling right out of the scale. And the last one, well, gee, this isn't major because it's not straight across. It's not minor because it's not that little triangle. It's something else. And it's the only one where the 1st and the 3rd strings are not in line with each other. And so that's the 5th up. So this is a flatted 5th called a diminished. And this is back to major. So this set of chords is built in the scale. Same row of notes. Okay, we can go a notch higher in the row and we get 7th chords. That's a G major 7. See how it's working? So this whole set of chords is built right in there to the music. Whatever instrument you're playing it on. And whatever key it's in, it's just that same thing higher or lower. And on banjo, you can take advantage of those chord positions if you want to find quick single string stuff. Take any 2 neighbors. How about G and A minor? Then you got... Alright, right there. Just if it's not one chord, it's the other. What about the next 2 neighbors like this? So you see there, just one chord or the other. Here are the next 2 neighbors. B minor and C major. So and there's a C chord. Because you can project either one. And the next 2 neighbors are C and D. So I can project the C chord or the D. Ever heard the bluegrass recording for Misty? Ray Stevens sings it, the guy that did the Ahab the Arab and those novelty songs. He recorded Misty with Mark Pruitt playing bluegrass banjo on it. Sounds real nice. It's got a lot of chords in it, but a lot of songs do, and they're pretty to hear and worth knowing. So that's where the scale kind of goes, you know. It takes you into those realms if you go high enough in the stack. If you stay down into the 3-note range, then we get the 1, 4, 5 chords of bluegrass out there. But here's a neat thing. In bluegrass you have G and C and D. Well, what I'm going to do is keep the treble strings the same, but I'm going to change the bass note. Kind of hear that instead of 1, 4, 5, you can extend bluegrass out on that rim or not, you know, because sometimes it's nice to know how to do something and not do it, you know. It's like that's what somebody said was the definition of a gentleman, somebody that could play banjo but didn't. Present company accepted, of course. So, you know, the other, let's see, well, any requests or any questions about what's going on? Yes, sir.
When you're playing a song, do you pick one roll and kind of stick to it throughout that song?
Almost never. Most of the time it's a lot of rolls involved. There are a few songs that use one roll, and you can do, I practice rolls by isolating them and building exercises so I can do the roll continuously instead of just encounter it once in some arrangement. Because you got to get some strength behind it and get some speed to it. So if you do isolate and for example, well, there's a roll that people use in Old Joe Clark. And in fact, I did this yesterday. Anyone that, well, if somebody was here yesterday, sorry about this. But if you learn Earl stuff, one of the first rolls you probably use is thumb index, thumb middle. Well, think about it. That roll is putting the thumb on the important beats, but we got 2 other fingers. There's got to be 2 other rolls, one for each of those fingers, puts them on the beat. Easiest way you can see it would be just to turn the banjo upside down and do the thumb roll this way, T-I-T-M. Well, I need to do that without turning it over. And so it has to be the middle finger. Okay, well that's what we use in Old Joe Clark. So I like to sort of say, take that lick and let's spread that out and make it into an exercise and make it go all up and down the neck. So we're really dealing with pairs of notes in Old Joe Clark. Just get the roll going over and over, and then those pairs of notes. What I try to do is what I call borrow, which is if I'm coming down the neck. Those are the same pairs of notes that Earl uses for ground speed. Well, okay, do that old Joe Clark lick. Now borrow the place where you just were. This is an exercise, right? Okay, then you borrow from underneath. See, and then you try to get loose with it, and not think about a particular tune. You're just getting ready for lots of tunes or melodic twists of that nature. Then you do it on another pair of notes, first and third string. Scale behind there. Telling you if the notes are right or wrong. You're using isolating the roll to get it going faster and get that conviction into it. You see what I mean? Getting familiar with the sounds and so that's one roll throughout the whole thing, and I could coax a song out of that exercise. And so that's the way I like to take it, and then choose another lick and do the same thing to it. They all have to be on automatic pilot. You can't be thinking about the individual fingers. You have to call it up like a subroutine. It executes, and you can always, if you're learning a tune and there's a hard part, take that pattern and fan it out into a series of things rather than just one, place them on tune. Let's see, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Do you have a publication or know of another one that's good for just exercises like that?
Well,
do you have one out that's...
I don't really have that kind of thing. I just did come out with a book about the music theory, and it's the music facts. It's just facts. There's no theory there. It's all practical working knowledge and how it looks on various things like a keyboard and a fingerboard and a circle of fifths. I didn't wear my circle of fifths shirt today, but gee, maybe we should get any...
I got a request.
Yes, sir.
Devil's Dream.
Devil's Dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sailors, please. Sailors?
Yeah, I'll see. I'll throw a few fiddle tunes and see if I can... mostly, except for Devil's Dream and Cyril's Hornpipe, most of them were not in the key of G. The notes of the key of G. It's funny, looking for patterns and how it relates to melodic stuff. Maybe you can sort of see enough of what I'm trying to get at here to take it home and try it yourself. This is something you can do at home. And if you got familiar with the G scale, you'll find these positions here, frets 4 and 5, and up here 9 and 10, where you need to go to get up and down in the G scale. So I can do some loops and come down, and if I use those positions, it'll sound like I'm in G. Okay, now with the C scale, it looks like this, where that's opened up and this is still tight up here. So there, and if you want the F scale, then you need to do this. Now this top one is opened up too. So I'm in the key of F. Now if I want to B flat, I can pull this one down here, so same right hand roll for all of them. And then if I wanted after B flat would come E flat, and that's when this pulls down up here. So you really can do G, C, F, B flat, and E flat by just altering these little positions on the neck. Actually, anyone here familiar with an album called Uncommon Ritual by Bela Fleck and Mike Marshall and Edgar Meyer? There's a tune on there called Chromium Picolinate. I had to ask at the health food store what the heck it was. I was surprised. So you go ask. It's a neat little tune, and what you have to think of this kind of progression. Let me get this straight here. Just think that kind of change. That's the chords behind this thing, and watch the left hand thing, it's a totally... So this is the F chord, it's chromatic. C7. Oh, yeah. And this is G7. And then here's the C. Anyway, it's a great piece of music, and this is so inside look. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a beginner, and I've been at it about a year. And I'm told, because I'm learning Scruggs style, I'm told if I start trying to learn melodic style, like the old stream, that I'll screw up what I'm trying to, that it'll interfere with the, do you agree with that? That I should leave that, not even try it until...
I got real screwed up in the process, so, yeah, but I'm still, you know, it's how you look. I think a lot of Earl stuff is very modular, and it's a good way to learn and to understand the music at the same time. And I started by learning Earl's clothes and played Earl stuff, and so I tried to play as close as I could. In fact, I wrote it all out in order to learn it, and my transcriptions became the Earl instruction book. So it has worked for a lot of people that wanted to pursue, that still want to pursue the way Earl did it, you know. So their fingers will tread where Earl's fingers have trod upon their neck, you know, the way Alan Mundy explained it. Where
They are two different
doesn't want to
styles.
go where no fingers have ever gone before. Sorry?
So does it interfere with the learning process? I mean, does that make any
It's
sense?
a different
to
kind
like
of learning
jumping
thing.
ahead? Yeah.
What I was going to say is that
So
Earl's is modular and that fits the music and it's really good stuff to know. See, and it's driven by a lot by the right hand. Just that one roll. You've learned that one, I bet you. Well, there it is in the beginning of Earl's Breakdown. And here it is. Or here it is in Foothill Special. And again. Or here is in Foggy Mountain Shine. Again. So yeah, that's the modular thing, and the other thing is that's another real important piece of the modular puzzle, and that's really what I started on talking earlier. See, frankly, Earl doesn't use all the combinations possible. So you really, if you once you've got a good understanding what Earl does, then you have to include what other people do to get the same traditional style, and that may involve, well, if you call that thumb lead, then you'll need the middle finger lead and the index lead. That's all index lead. And that does border, that's the kind of licks that you need to enable the melodic style. If you never learn anything that Earl didn't play, you wouldn't learn those rolls, and so then it would be confusing to play melodic. But if you learn everything what Earl does and then the rest of the patterns, you will have what you need to play melodic if you wanted to. See, I think Earl stuff is right hand driven. The right hands do the rolls, and that's leaning into that. Don Reno's style. See, it's left hand driven. It's the pattern you see on the fingerboard, moving that around. See what I mean? He does it here, 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 and here, and then for the sequel. So that's the kind of left-hand driven. Now, melodic style is notes are driving it. It's the melody that drives it. It's neither the right or left hand. You have to make up the left and right hand so the notes come out right. And yeah, so that's it is a departure from the other stuff in those respects. And it is it's anti-intuitive that you're going to get a higher note out of a lower string, and so that messes up a lot of people. But the longer you go without it, the more messed up you'll feel, because you've already got certain things that you've taken for granted. See, if you do it too long. Yes, sir.
You said a couple things about playing in different keys. You've got a K-pole, so what keys would you use a K-pole on, or ever?
Oh, I do. In fact, I put it on the dashboard when I park at the post office. But no, this one doesn't come off too easily, so I leave it on there. But for a number of reasons. First, if you want hard driving bluegrass stuff and you want to play an A or B flat or B, it's really you can't really do that with anchoring or trying to capo the whole thing. You can comp in any key without a capo, And sometimes it's nice to play in those keys without, so you can get lower inversions of the chord, you know. B flat, it's a nice sounding chord. Added 9. Okay, well, it increases the possibilities. For example, there's a lot of things. I'll play out a D. What?
You retune the 5th string when you play?
I did. I put that up. So that's an option for D. But then there's, I mean, if I had to play the Ricketts hornpipe, I just played in D. Or another third option would be capo and then tune the string down. So there's 3 kind of ways to play in D. There are others, and in fact, here's kind of the way. This sounds technical, but it's really simple. Let me just. Okay, that song has the notes of the G chord and 2 others. It has this one, there and here, and it has this one. And that is the 2 and the, or 9, some people say, and the 6. And so if I put those in as notes with the G chord, it makes a pentatonic scale. And okay, well, this pentatonic scale has G and D in it. There are 3 others that have G and D in it, and since so G's and D's account for 4 out of my 5 strings, and I can use them melodically, then those scales should be pretty easy because I only have to fret 3 notes out of 5. They're 5-note scales. I only have to fret 3 because I got G's and D's open. So here they are, this G, and look at the way they evolve in position-wise on the neck. Here's the G. And then the C, there's F, and there's B flat. So I have G, and C, and F, and B flat. They all, I'm just keeping it right here, but they all go, well, G. And C would be. F. What?
Are you doing all 4 rolls while you're doing that?
No, it's a combination of rolls. But I'm being driven by the notes, the loops I want to hear. But if I go straight up the scale, you can hear that's like that guitar run, right?
Okay, so you have to set that up for yourself.
And I'm not. It's not any roll at all, really. It's thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle. It's I hear the notes go though, and it's not the roll. It's not driven that way. So anyway, I have those
See,
4.
I just got it.
But you can hear any tune like the. All the notes in that melody are in the scale, and all the notes in the scale are in the melody. It's just how you shuffle them. So when you got. Or if I have. Or if I have. See how that's working? So all of those scales are pretty easy. So if I wanted to play in the key of C, or I could do. Okay, but I could also, here's another option. Okay, go up to the 2nd fret, of course, to play in C. That's a pretty commonplace, I guess, wouldn't it be? It is, but C is always at the same place on the neck here. But now it looks like a B flat above my capo, so I'll use a B flat pentatonic scale. And I'm playing in C out there. Or I could clamp up to the 5th fret. Hold on here.
Make a note of that.
This capo only goes up to 4. So I have the capo for every fret pretty soon. So put this here at the 5th fret. That's a good place to play in C. And of course, now I can pretend this G. So I got my G. That's still C. Or how about this? How about if I clamp all the way up to the 7th fret? Hardly ever do this. Okay, now my C chord looks like an F against the capo. So, nope, I'll get the capo on, right? So that's really 4 options to play in C because I have 4 scales, each one of which I could capo up. But I would only. You know, it's sort of, but seeing that those pentatonic scales is a little system, and you can, they're all the same, you can do the same rolls and everything, no matter which one you've got. The scales are like that too. I come down and loops out of the D scale. Let me get my capo out here. G, or C, or F, and it's really the same right-hand roll. What I'm varying up here anyway, it gets a little different there, but it's just depending on how many flats are in it, really, or sharps. You take the G scale and then you raise the C's. That's all you gotta do. You're in D all of a sudden. So a lot of it is right next door, 1 fret away. A whole other key. Yes, sir.
Can you show us a few things you might do up the neck on a backing up on a scrub cell too?
Sure.
Like simple things for starter editors?
Yeah, okay. There's one, there's a nice thing, and it may not seem as simple as it is, but it is. You hear him do something. First, this kind of backup is real good to know, and get it down where you can feel how far those are apart, and do it without looking and have a conversation, and then the chord change to C, and it's the same distance away up there, 4 frets, and back to G, and you can look at the other people in the band and see, and get eye contact and signals, and then you lead it. that's more a rhythmic thing, and then start to do what the bass player, guitar player do, adding lines that lead into the chords. Another thing that Earl does to back up sometimes slower tunes, he'll take just the top two strings and slide up to the G chord, the C chord. That's kind of a nice ornamentation, especially behind a low voice. You wouldn't want to ornament a fiddle that way because they're up in that range and doing stuff around there. Depends on how you back up depends on what else is going on. If a mandolin's backing up, I try to just play woody percussive sounds because that's the part what the mandolin is usually doing when he's backing up, and when he goes into lead mode, that rhythm thing he was adding drops out of the sound. So somebody should step in and just enough of it to fill that gap. When it gets into doing rolls, there's one that I like that Earl does. Works connect here. You think of the G chord up here and 17, right? And either wrap your thumb around at 14, which will give you the sixth of the scale, the E over there. And you start a forward roll on the third string and continue it on the fifth string. I don't actually, I use my index finger on the fifth string. You use these two fingers on the third and second strings, and I'm not fretting the fourth string at all. And you have to, yes, that's right. Okay. Okay, it's really kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1, 2, 3, 4 is what completes the 16th notes of the two measures. So, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That starts you to be able to do it again. Now we're going to go to D7. Roll for all the different chords.
The same chord shape?
Almost. The C is with the 6 back here. When I go to the D chord, most of the time when we're in G and we encounter a D chord, it's flavored for the 7th. So this finger has to come up because that's a D7 that way, right? I'm just putting it on the other string. So I can play it like this. So that's what I'm doing with the C chord. That finger is back a fret, so it's a 6, not a C7. Some people play a C7 there. But that C7, that's notes out of the scale. Most of the time, we play C6. 4 and 5. That's what bluegrass is made of. And you can practice stuff generically too. It comes down to sort of if the song is 1, 4, and 5 and you're playing one of those chords, the odds are, you know, and you learn pretty much which ones are apt to come up. So what you end up doing is practicing changing from one chord of those chords to the other, getting good at the changes, and then you learn the song. You play the song by ear. If you play through the songs, you hear the change coming up. It doesn't matter what the song is or what the words are or anything, and that's how you learn to play by ear. It's sort of getting well, okay, I got to go to a C chord, and so I got to start some kind of run that's going to end up coming down or up or both. That's going to land me at the C chord at the right time, and then a certain amount of time later, a D chord's coming along, and it's that predictability that makes it fun, and you know, that's what I do is practice generic stuff. I get ready for the event. I don't practice tunes anymore as much as I used to learn tunes. I learn the stuff where the tunes are, the scales and the positions, and try different rolls. And I try to take a systematic approach to the rolls, and it just like I do to the neck. And you may be able to tell. To me, it's not just a lick here. It's part of a big system of stuff like not just one pentatonic scale. It's 4 of them, and it's only 4, and only because there are only those 4 scales that all have G's and D's in them. Those are the only 4 pentatonic scales that have G and D. And the time when I tried to go outside of the border, well, I got to the B flat scale. Okay, and then I realized that to get the next scale would be, which after B flat would be E flat, I needed to raise that D to E flat. So I could get it up here. And see here, that's now an E flat. So I decided to make a tune up in E flat, and this was it. Pentatonic scales that I've used, but then it's really just gives me other options on how to make a tune sound. Yes, sir.
You got something other than the conventional tuner tunes that you can do with your tuners? Any advice, comments, appropriateness?
Talking about the tuning pegs. In fact, this year is the 40th anniversary of their invention, and we went into production in early '64, so that's coming up on the 40th anniversary of the corporation. And usually they're set to, if I have them set, that's the usual way to set them up to go down into the D chord. And of course, you could set them up for something else, a D minor chord, or just use the second, make the second string a G to B to B flat. I had a tune that I'm gonna embarrass myself because I haven't played this in a while. fact, I'm having trouble remember how it goes in the first place. But there's maybe our time has come, the end of the hour, so maybe this is I made up these little levers back here so I can operate them both at once. With the steel guitar stuff. But, this, I have the first one set up to go up to E, and the bottom one, usually I set to go down to C, or also set it to go up to E. So here's a tune that well, I make a point of playing this once a year anyway, and maybe this is it. We'll see. I bet you all know it, but if you know the words, please don't sing along.
Thank you.